Hello, and welcome to the Microsoft 365 Power Platform Development Bi-Weekly Call. It is March 14th. I am back as your host for today. This is Patrick Rogers. Haven't hosted a call in a while. Excited to be back. We got a great agenda for you today, as always. Latest updates from the community. We got the PnP.NET library updates, PowerShell updates, latest on the Teams toolkit as well. We've got updates on script samples, the Team samples, the Power Platform samples, so many samples. And we've got our picture time together mode picture time. We'll figure out how to say that one of these days. And then we've got two awesome demos. We had one demo that had to back out today, very unfortunately. I hope everything's good there. But we've got Leon talking about automation in SharePoint Premium. And then we've got Shrushti. I apologize. I think I've probably butchered that. But how to create automated AI approvals. So very excited to see both of those demos. And now we will move right on to this slide, which is about all of our various community things. So we've got tons of great community videos. We've got tons of great LinkedIn discussions going on, and the new LinkedIn, what are they called in LinkedIn? Communities, LinkedIn groups. And as well, we've got all our open source offerings. So github.com/PnP, Office Dev, SharePoint, Microsoft Graph. You can find all the great resources there. We've got tons and tons and tons of sample galleries. All of them roll up there to aka.ms/community/samples. And then for all the invites, all the information about all of our stuff, check out aka.ms/community/home. That will have links and information about all of these other resources, how to get to them, invites for the calls, how to access the recordings for the videos, and all that stuff from aka.ms/community/home. And now we've got a listing of some of our upcoming calls here. We've got our Power Platform call, which is our Tuesday calls at 8 a.m. Pacific. Those are typically hosted by Microsoft folks, and those will be latest about whatever's going on in the platform. So various things about AI, new features coming out. We had stuff on the Pages API there very recently. So great call to attend to find out for Microsoft folks the latest stuff that's happening. And then we've got some more community demo focused calls. We've got the Power Platform call, the one you are in today. We've got the, no, I'm sorry, that's a different Power Platform call. We've got the Power Platform community call, the Office add-ins community call. We've got the Power Platform community. I've not done this in a while. I'll confess, I'm not sure what the difference is between the top one and the third one down, but great community calls around Power Platform there. And then we've got the SPFX call. No, I see. The third one is this call that you're in today, and the bottom one is the other side of the bi-weekly calls, which is the SPFX calls on Thursdays. So, yep, I caught back up, everybody. All this information, ak.ms/community/calls to get all the invites for all these great calls. And then you can see the agendas for the calls are published ahead of time there at that ak.ms/community/meetup. All right. And this is the ad for next Tuesday's Power Platform Weekly Call. Really excited for this. We've got three great demos from Majesty and Waldeck talking about the Graph Connector Teams app in minutes. Or testing your Graph Connector Teams app using the dev proxy. Really excited for that one. Paolo's got another awesome demo by him for Copilot plugins for Microsoft Lists with Copilot Studio. And then Eric's got an awesome demo coming for building personalized content ACEs for Viva Connections based on user profile attributes. If you would like to present, always encourage you to check out the speaker invite there below. And real quick, I'm going to mute everybody, because I can hear some folks in my ear. So moving on. So check us out next Tuesday. That's 19th of March, 8 a.m. Pacific time. So encourage you to join that. And then as well, if you would like to present a demo on this call or the other Thursday call or really any call, please do reach out to us. Everyone is welcome. As I used to say all the time and will continue to say, I think the community demos on these calls are one of the most valuable parts to see what your companies are working on, the great ideas you have, and to share that with everybody so we can all learn from your work is really fantastic. So everybody is welcome. Please reach out. We can't always get you scheduled immediately, but we'll get you scheduled out just as soon as we can in terms of whatever's on the calendar. But we want to get you in as early as we can. So please do reach out. Everybody is welcome to demo, and I think the demos are really super valuable for everybody in the community. As well, we've got our Sharing as Caring initiative. So this is a great way if you are looking to learn about how to get involved with P&P, how to do things with GitHub, how to be a first-time presenter. Really, any of these topics, if you just want a little bit of help or support or have a few questions or have a lot of questions, either way, we've got these, as they're called, safe space areas or meetings or calls where we can get together, talk through these questions. It's not recorded. It's not anything like that. It's just a place for you to come and help, get some information or some more understanding about how to get involved with the P&P initiative or any of our initiatives around the open source models, as well as doing demos and all these other different things. So please do check that out, the aka.ms/sharing is caring. And as well, we've got office hours that will be starting soon. So that'll be a set time to come in with your questions outside of the Sharing is Caring sessions that will continue to get scheduled as well. And then we've got our community recognition program. So if you're not part of this, we've got this great set of badges powered by Credly that, what does David say? These are the same badges that Microsoft gives out. So you can showcase all your contributions to the P&P open source stuff. More achievement levels are coming soon. So /community/recognition is your aka.ms link there. And this is just a really fantastic way to say, for us to say thank you for all the great work you do to help power the community and to help power our open source samples and the demos and everything else that all of you in the community do. Is just a small way for us to say thank you. So thank you to everybody that's contributed, and thank you to the folks running the badge program. And it's really just fantastic to get the recognition out there for everyone. And this slide had an animation on it. And so now we'll go on to our project-specific updates as well. These projects are welcoming of folks that might want to participate in the projects, but no requirement to. But any participation is always welcome. And moving up to here, I think Bert will take this slide.
Yes, thanks, Patrick. So for .NET, we have our two libraries, P&P Framework being the older one, P&P CrossDK the newer one, although newer is relative if the library is around for like almost 3 years now. Good. On the framework side, not really much happened over the last weeks, pretty quiet, which is fine. On the CrossDK side, Dylan Nicholson did submit a PR to improve reading image and location columns. So when you have a modern list, you can have like a thumbnail image inside the list or location information, and we can now properly read that. And as part of that, there's some additional changes to also make it easy to update, to set the image in such an image column and to set the location. We also did a fix for the page loading. So for page API implementation, where that if you had a web part which broke on a page, it could lead to the page not loading correctly. That's fixed now. And a ton of actually smaller fixes that got in over the last weeks. So overall, I think we're pretty good. Usage-wise, I think from a request number, we're topping 52 billion plus requests in February 24, not January actually. And number of tenants goes a bit down, you see on the graph, which is expected because the Microsoft developer tenant program is not creating tenants anymore, and they use this technology, so that's why we see like the drop. But the usage is still growing, so that's all good. So with that, I think we can then move to PowerShell with Gautam, if Gautam is on the call. I'm not sure, I didn't check. Gautam?
Going once.
I think he's in MVP Summit. He's in MVP Summit, so can't join. So, well, I'm
all right,
here,
cool. Well, P&P PowerShell. So V240 is coming out soon. It's got over 12 million downloads. So it's very highly used. I mean, it's no P&P.js, but P&P PowerShell is really amazing. You should check it out. There's a ton of incredible functionality getting added in here. New stuff is constantly getting put in. Lots of great commandlets, a lot of Entra ID management stuff. We've got page related stuff for handling page layouts. We've got audit log management, as well as feedback and issue stuff on GitHub. So please do, where you have feedback or issues, please do log that into the GitHub. And you can see the changelog link down there, github.com, PNP PowerShell blob dev, changelog.md, for all the latest updates on the PNP PowerShell. And if you are an admin or a power user, this is just a really fantastic way to approach managing your SharePoint sites and managing your SharePoint deployments at scale through the PowerShell scripts. And next up is, I've not seen that animation before. That was cool. Next up is Teams Toolkit, which is...
I can take care of that one.
Oh,
so
okay,
John Miller is not available today, unfortunately. We have a few things happening in Redmond this week, and that's why I'm calling from here as well. But Teams Toolkit for the VS Code 5.6 is the latest version, and really focusing again on the Copilot and AI extensibility, because that is a big focus area in Microsoft currently, as you probably have seen. And the Create Copilot plugins and all of that capabilities and templates are there. Teams Toolkit for Visual Studio IDE 17.9 is the latest version, which has been released. Same thing here. The cool things here in both sides are actually the adaptive card previewer capabilities, and Copilot plugin support in here is in preview. Teams Toolkit CLI is the one which is behind the scene, responsible of the operations, for example, deployment and automation against your Azure subscription, and that's in 2.1.1. You can use it without the tooling as well, but that's really great CLI. Now, John Miller is always asking that if you have feedback and ideas and suggestions, please chat with me, as in John Miller, because I'm now John Miller, anytime at aka.ms and ATK chat, and you can schedule a lot of time with him. And a lot of other stuff is actually in the Microsoft 365 developer YouTube channel around what we're doing in VS Code to Teams Toolkit for VS Code. Cool, let's go forward.
Awesome. Thank you, Vaser, for that. Graph Toolkit updates. Is Seb on the call?
I don't think Seb is on the call either. He might be in a session right now on the...
Oh, cool. Well, in that case, let's talk about Microsoft Graph Toolkit. It's a fantastic set of tools and capabilities that hook up right to Graph very easily. They make the development process very smooth and can save you a ton of time and are highly customizable. They're now live with the MGT v4 is out. It's GA'd. So check that out. It's, I believe, a fairly easy upgrade from v3, but has a bunch of new capabilities such as tree shaking support, so you can get some smaller client-side packages, deprecating some different things, some permission updates, as well as GA of search support. Check out the docs. There's React support. There's sign-in, a bunch of great stuff. Really excited about the Microsoft. Wow, really excited. I'm out of practice. Sorry about that. Microsoft Graph Toolkit is really awesome to see the evolution of that over the years and how that's continued to add features and grow and get better. So if you haven't checked that out and are doing SPFX development or any kind of graph-related web development, definitely something to check out and put into your bag of tools to pull out the right time. So check that out. NPM install at Microsoft/MGT@next will get you the absolute latest bits there. And with that, we'll move over to the script samples.
Paul is not here, also in MVP Summit.
Paul is not here. I didn't realize when I offered very kindly to host this call that I would be reading all the slides.
Next slide, Katarina is on the call, so it's good. It's good.
All the script samples. So we got an amazing number of script samples here. These continue to grow as well and are just super valuable to show off how to solve solutions, again, in a nice reusable way, to script them out either with the SharePoint, CSOM or PNP PowerShell or the CLI or PNP.js. I mean, also an option, just to put that out there. But, definitely check out all these samples. I'm not going to read through this whole list, but thank you to Chandani, Casper, Tobias, Ganesh, for all. Wow, Ganesh did a ton of stuff there. So fantastic stuff. Huge thank you to everybody. Just these samples, again, are just a really valuable part of the community and a great reference on how to do things. And I know that even if I don't necessarily use the exact exact script sample have learned a lot on how to accomplish things from these samples. So it's just really fantastic and really valuable. So thank you to everybody that has contributed samples this period and over the years. So really fantastic to see these continue to grow as well. So thank you, aka.ms/script-samples for all of your script sample needs. And now we'll pass this over to
Bob.
Oh, hello. Yes.
Bob.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, it's been a quiet week. We don't have any new team samples, but I encourage you to go to the sample solution gallery at the URL on the screen. And I've been talking to a certain MVP, and there's a really cool Copilot plugin coming next time. So at least I think. So I will see you soon. Back to you, Patrick.
Back to me. I think we will actually go over to Katarina.
Yeah, thank you very much, Patrick. Yes. So this week I'm very happy to tell you about 3 new samples in the Power Platform gallery. First, Shakir Ahmad has created something cool called Create Notes from Canvas. This application allows you to make notes for accounts and even upload attachments files, which is usually trickier. Definitely worth to try it. Next, we have AI Daily Time Management Plan by April Dunham. It's a workflow that organizes your daily beautifully by gathering information from your calendar and to-do, then emails you a well-structured daily plan. The blend of prompt and AI builder makes your schedule looks like amazing. So I highly recommend to give it a try. And lastly, there is Power Apps Dynamic Forms by Craig White. This guide teaches you how to make forms in Power Apps that can change based on what you need. It's easy to understand and very practical for everyone who is using Power Apps. So be sure to check it out. And of course, a big shout out to everyone who has contributed to the samples gallery. You are all awesome. And if you are curious about how you can contribute, just follow the link that you see on the slide or get in touch with me. And let's continue to grow together. That's it. Back to you, Patrick.
Awesome. Thank you for those updates. Power Platform samples, again, another area that just is so valuable and so awesome to see it continue to grow. So thank you to everybody for the work there. And now we are off to our optional picture time, which seems pretty mandatory since we do it every meeting, but.
Yes, I know. But we're not forcing people to do this. So let's see if we can get everybody to be here.
Forced fun.
Yeah, you don't have to turn on your camera.
Forced fun.
Patrick, behave.
Hey, you invited me here.
That is true. That's on me. So we have 50 seats in the room. I didn't get there. Maybe the conference room thing isn't smart enough to put me there. That's fine. Patrick, we have there's yeah, a lot of familiar faces there. 50 seats in a room. Let's wait a few more minutes. We do have 2 demos today, so we're not in a massive hurry, but we want to give 20 minutes or 15 to 20 minutes for both of them. That's probably maxing out, and it's not pixelated at all. So network connectivity in Redmond is decent. This is good. So let me put the recording on. Let's do some hand waving. Patrick, you'll be the example with Leon on the middle, and we'll do 3, 2, 1, and let's do some hand waving. Thank you, everybody, for joining the call. And we'll share this one obviously in social media. Thank you for the Mac system prompts there. Cool. Excellent. Thank you, everybody. We'll grab a GIF animation out of that and share it in social media. Thank you, everybody, for joining today. This time, the call is going much more smoother than on Tuesday. So great job, Patrick, on hosting.
You're welcome. You get a pro in there. And all right, I think we're going to jump straight over to our first demo, which is Leon.
Thank you, Patrick. Let me just take control now.
Yeah, if you want to take over the presentation.
Oh,
I don't think you need control.
Sorry.
You just need to share. Yeah, you just need to share directly.
To share my screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Apologies.
It's the time zone differences for Leon as well, because he's calling in from MVP Summit. So thank you for that.
Indeed. I should have coordinated to share a room with you there. So.
That's true. That is true. That's my bad. Sorry.
Not to worry. So today, I'd like to talk about some of the automation options in SharePoint Premium. So a little about me. I'm Leon Armston, Head of Content AI at Intelligy in the United Kingdom. I'm a Microsoft MVP in M365, but I specialize a lot. My history is in SharePoint, and I like this new added AI layer on top of it, so SharePoint Premium. I blog quite a bit on leonarmston.com, active on Twitter, LinkedIn, GitHub, etc. But yes, as Vesta said, I'm at MVP Summit, so yeah, in my hotel, but looking forward to going to sessions soon. So the agenda today, what I'd like to discuss, give you a brief overview of what is SharePoint Premium, and then talk about the SharePoint Premium developer story, give some demos with some patterns that I've learned for deploying some SharePoint Premium assets programmatically, and then just summarizing it, give you some steps to find out more. So what is SharePoint Premium? So you have, I love this graphic. So SharePoint, my history is SharePoint, as I said. So yeah, SharePoint is in the middle. SharePoint rules everything. So we can see that around SharePoint, there's lots of reliances on SharePoint. So SharePoint is a storage layer. It is used for M365 backup to backup SharePoint, M36 archive to archive SharePoint sites. It integrates with Azure for identity, for graph, for programmatically, for Power Platform, for SharePoint embedded. It is the source of information for Copilot. It works with Teams, with Viva, with Wanderer. And then you have SharePoint Premium in the top corner, so that's the advanced AI aspect of SharePoint. So SharePoint Premium, it's a set of cloud content management capabilities that bring advanced AI, automation and management to business processes at the center of every organization. So we see down here in yellow, we see content in all three lines. So it is all about the content, SharePoint Premium. So we've got content experiences that optimizes critical business processes, content processing that organizes your content to maximize your content. So it's putting your content to work. And then we have the content governance pillar, which is more for the system administrators, but it's simplifying that management and security of your content, which is pertinent in the Copilot world where we don't want to overshare anything. So I'll just give you a brief overview of what is there with SharePoint Premium at the moment, but as part of the content experiences, we're boosting productivity with high value document solutions and document hubs. So I'm not going to read this line by line, but what we have at the moment is content query. I'll just pick out some highlights, some annotation, PDF merge. We have what's coming soon, a business documents app in Teams. So that's like a contracts management solution. We have the experiences coming to Microsoft Word for document generation. We're going to have AI-driven deviation. E-signature, that's a favorite. That's only available in the USA at the moment, but that will enable you to electronically sign documents from your tenant. And another one that I'm quite looking forward to is the documents portal. So that's an external site that you can share documents to from their original location, and then your external people can come in and view those documents, maybe e-signature them perhaps. So that's one I'm looking forward to. So the content processing pillar, this is historically what SharePoint Premium was before. So when it started in its early days as Project Cortex, and then it became SharePoint Syntex, and then it became Microsoft Syntex, and then as of November last year, was renamed to Microsoft Premium. But historically, the Syntex part was AI on documents, so the document processing part. So that's identifying types of documents, so the classification, and then you train the AI to maybe pick out particular fields from those documents. So you might want to pick out a date from a letter, or a value from the contract. We then have content assembly, which is where you can use existing documents to create templates to generate other documents. So you may have a letter, you can create a template, and then rather than have to fill out a letter 20 times to send it to 20 people, you can use a template to auto send it to those 20 people. We have OCR image tagging, which I'm going to discuss today, taxonomy tagging, document translation, and then we have some autofill columns, which is coming in 2024, where you will be able to describe what you want to do with the columns to a GPT, and it will scan the documents according to what you've described and tag them as PII detection, redaction, and multi-label classifier. So the content governance part, as I've already said, this is more for the SharePoint administrators, but this is SharePoint. This used to be known as SharePoint Advanced Management. So this is using tools to manage the content lifecycle and control access to your content. So we have stuff like data access governance, restricted access control, insights. So what I want to talk about is the developer story. So I want to list what options are available for automating SharePoint Premium, either via code, via shell, via document library rules, via Power Automate. So traditionally, the Microsoft Syntex, it's still called the Microsoft Syntex REST API at the moment. It's still being renamed, but as I've said, it was all about processing documents with AI and creating models with certain rules to either identify documents or classify, or both. Either to identify documents and which was the classification, and then the extraction, where you're extracting certain values from the documents. So we can create models, we can apply models, we can update model settings, we can batch delete. But this is all part of the historical SharePoint REST APIs. So those REST APIs, we have PnP PowerShell, which can talk to those REST APIs, but there are commandlets to do those commands for getting the syntax model. And then also new to PnP PowerShell, I think in version 2.40, there are now SharePoint embedded commands. So getting the containers. PnP Core SDK. PnP Core SDK provides an abstraction layer over the actual API calls being made. So you just call PnP Core SDK, but underneath that, it's maybe calling MSGraph or the REST commands. So that's what the PnP PowerShell is using underneath. We have SharePoint Embedded. This is probably a session on itself, but this is an API-only solution that enables app developers to harness the power of SharePoint as a file store. So this is headless SharePoint. So we're using SharePoint as a repository. So we could have a, say, a .NET app and use SharePoint as the storage layer and have that have the rich SharePoint compliance story or search story. But yeah, it's all API driven using Microsoft Graph commands. So as part of Microsoft Graph, there's Graph data connectors to SharePoint. There is also some Graph commands for Syntex. SharePoint Premium. So 3 patterns, what I'd like to demo today. So I just want to show 3 features of SharePoint Premium. So document translation using document library rules, and then enabling a library for image tagging with PowerShell. And then taxonomy tagger, but I'll show some examples as I go into my demos. What a recent cool feature that's come to SharePoint Premium is the ability to have, say, a document in English. So we can see a full document here and get this translated directly from a document library into a foreign language. It supports 133 languages, so we've got a lot of different uses Azure translation service behind the scenes. But what I've done here is I've got a document library rule, and when I change this value here to a foreign language, it will then update it, copy the documents, and then produce it in, say, let me go into edit here. We'll put it into Swahili. And what this will do, it's not letting me. So that was what this will do. Will be change the document into. So we see one of my previous documents. I pick the one. So it will keep the existing format and then translate it into a foreign language. So now what I want to do, just get to my tabs, is I want to show an image tagging feature. So within a document library, we can turn on SharePoint Premium image tagging, which then analyzes the images and just supplies descriptive words about what it sees in the image. So we can see for this one, we've got creek, wall, landscape, which they are just special taxonomy columns. So we can go into edit the columns, and we can see that it is just a manage metadata column. But we can see this property here that automatically tag images with detected objects. So we can see that that's ticked yes. So imagine the scenario: you want to provision a project site and you want to add a document library called images to every project site, and you want to turn on image tagging. Traditionally, you would have to go to the library and you would have to configure image tagging, and you would have to click enable here. This library already has it enabled, but if I want to do that programmatically, there is this is the script to add it. So it's adding the special image tagging column. This is all on my blog, so you could download this. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a library called image tag 2, and now I'm just going to run this. So what this is doing is adding a new image tag field from the XML. It's adding the image tag columns to the default view. It's adding a thumbnail. And then if I go to site contents, find my image tag 2, we can see the new library has been deployed with image tags here. And what I can do here is I can drag and drop some images. And then within 5 minutes, these will be tagged with descriptive keywords. So how this all will then appear is, as we know that the documents are tagged. So then if they're tagged, we could say search for all of the documents that are tagged with nature, for example. And now I've just extended this with PnP modern search, but we can now see all of our images that are tagged with nature. Now I want to show taxonomy tagging. So within your organization, you might have some existing terms. So this example is using airlines. So within my term store is a list of airlines. And I've got a lot of aviation incident reports. And within those aviation incident reports, they mention specific airlines. So what this does is you add, you have a library, you add your existing taxonomy column to the library, but then there is this button down the bottom to automatically tag documents with terms. So you add your taxonomy term, and then you change the property to automatically tag documents and link it to your term. So you can see I'm linking it to my airlines term set here. And that's all I need to do. Now, when I add documents to the library, the AI will summarize those documents and say, this one contains, the summary contains American Airlines, British Airlines, Serene Air, so automatically tag them. So that's a really quick process to get your documents tagged and identified. So I do have a pattern to do that, but basically what this is doing, we're going to create a new library, add a new list, and then we're just adding our taxonomy column as normal using PnP PowerShell. But then we just have to change a property. So is doctax enabled? So I'll just go back to my slides. I'm not going to demo that one because I've talked you through the process of adding the taxonomy columns and changing it into enabling it for taxonomy tagging. So to find out more, there's a few blog articles I can share these in the chat. A few steps to find out more. And yeah, thank you. Any questions? No, apologies for the demo gods not letting me do PowerPoint full screen, but I'm sure that's all sorted. So no, thank you.
Great stuff. Thank you, Leon. Awesome demo there. A really good example of a lot of the really fascinating stuff you can start to do now in the service. And we want to hand things over to Shrushti, and she can tell me how to actually say her name.
You said it right. I'm so happy about it. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, if you want to take over the presentation, you're good to go.
Yes, let me just quickly share my screen.
All right, looks good. Take it away.
Okay, awesome. So Probably, folks, if you can just, I might take 5 more minutes extra additional because I have few things to cover, and this is going to be a demonstration as well. So I'll just start with the today's session, which is automated AI approvals. And this is basically, this idea came to us while we were developing Power Platform Hackathon, a solution for Power Platform AI Hack. And what is this use case? How did we build it? I'll just talk to you through a few of the slides, and rest everything will be demo. Before that, I'll give a short introduction about myself. I am Shrushti, and I've been working as technical consultant at Rapid Circle. I'm also a Microsoft MVP, and I have almost close to 7 years of work experience working on SharePoint, Teams, Power Platform, and some bits and pieces in Azure. So keeping it very short, I would just straight away drill down to the agenda. Let me just quickly go to the problem statement. So maybe I have just taken one scenario, which is risk assessment or risk management. You can fit this as per your need, and you can just take this approval, automated AI approval, and maybe it can be any scenario where you see this is the best fit. Please go ahead and try to use this in your scenarios. For me, what I did is, the scenario is something like this. Let's say there is a risk assessment team, and they always deal with multiple documents, like probably assume an Excel file where there are some risk related to health, safety, environment, or technology, or anything. I would just name HSSE, a simple example so everyone can understand. In that risk document, maybe there are some rows where you identify that this particular item is at high risk or low risk, or what is the risk, right? And the other document attached, or maybe which will elaborate on what that document or risk is about. So that is the business case for each risk. Now, whenever that risk assessment manager receives that in an email, he or she has to do a lot of work in going through each and every person who has added that input. They have to catch up with them, and then they have to also go through the document business case to learn more about what is that risk related to. And that business case can span more up to 5 to 10 pages, right? And you just want to probably overlook it and glance, get a summary, right? If you get a summary, it would be so great. You can just get some important bullet points. With that, you have that risk chart, and you can just easily see, hey, yeah, this is high risk. This needs to go to some approval. If this is below some threshold, then it can be auto approved. So this is my use case. As the problem statement is already mentioned, that there is a small gap area where you can see AI can play a good role, where it helps you to make your job easier, like bit easier, wherein if you just define a threshold, if something falls below a threshold, then maybe AI can approve it. And if something is above threshold, then let it come to you for approval, and maybe you can perform the upcoming tasks. So that was the problem statement. And how did we resolve it, right? So let's just see the use case. I will go to the process flow diagram. Okay. So this is probably what I want to highlight today, and maybe I'll go to the demonstration right after this. So what I am doing is I am just looking into my mailbox, and in my mailbox, assume I am the risk assessment manager. I receive email from so and so person about identifying all the risk related documents. One is business case, one is the Excel document, which has the risks mentioned. Now, what here you can see is this is the email of risk manager. He or she receives 2 emails. And what my process flow will do is it will go to that email. It will scan, run through each document. One is the risk assessment. It will see whether, hey, if this contains high risk. If it contains high risk, then go to the approval stage. And how it will do that? I'm using one AI builder document processing as well, through which I'm grabbing the entities, whether it is high risk is mentioned in the document or not. Clubbing those two, I am just passing it on. And what next I'm doing is I'm also looking through my other document, which is the business case, wherein you can either use the custom connector, or right now we have the ready to use summarize prompt in the AI Hub, right? It's inside Power Platform. So you can use that directly and just pass it on your content from the file to let it summarize. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind is you have to take that document and convert it into text, right? Only then you can pass it to your prompt to summarize it. How you can do that? You can use AI Builder again, that comes into the picture, and you can just identify text or from the documents. We have that in place in AI Builder. Using that, I am following up with the custom connector. I think, yeah, this is the piece. I've created custom connector, but you can use summarize right as well. And once you are done, I'm clubbing those two inputs in one variable, and then I'm seeing, hey, this has high risk, right? Then I'm passing it to the manager for approval, and if he or she approves, then the email who had sent that email will receive that, hey, this is the summary and these are the attached documents with the so and so approval, whether it is approved, rejected, or whatsoever. If it falls below threshold, then it will straight away be approved and the email will be sent out to that person who has sent the email. So this is what the overall process flow is. And let's just go ahead and check in action. So I'll go to the flow. And before I start elaborating on flow, I will just go to the AI Hub, where I want to show that you can, it's not needed that you create a custom connector to summarize. I used API to do that, GPT API, but now you can go to the AI prompts and you see summarize text. You can directly consume this into your automation as well. Next, I've also created document processing model so that for me, I will show the documents, which two documents I'm using. This is the one document where this is the risk assessment template. You can see I have added all the risks. I've just zoomed in a bit so you can see it. And these are the probability and severity. You don't have to worry about what data or text here I've written. Maybe assume this as a risk analysis and you measure it in a low, high, or mediocre scale. And I've given the scales below. For me, there are two main important things. One is probability and the severity of that risk assessment. And whenever something is catastrophic and almost certain, for me, I am marking it as high risk, or this is the threshold for me. Next is the business case. This is just a small sample template which I've picked up from the internet. And you can have your business case as per the assessment which you have made for that particular risk management. And these two documents I'm going to send out to the person, risk manager, and later let's see what flows does, right? Before that, let's go ahead and evaluate the flow. This is the Power Automate flow which I've built, and I am just running it on an Outlook because definitely that is where the emails come to that risk manager. I have just given that who will receive it, and definitely you should add a subject filter so that you don't get all the emails and it don't start performing this evaluation for all the emails. So give any appropriate filter based on which it will pick it up. Next are some of the variables. The important stuff lies here. Now, once I have got the email, next section is I have to read those email attachments. So I'm getting the attachment. There are two files. So hence you can see this branching. One is I should get one called as a risk template, right? So one file will always have name as risk and the condition is managed here. Next is if there is some business case or name of the file starts with business or it has word business. Okay, so it will process it that way. Now, if that file is named as risk template or risk assessment, then go into that file and extract the information from a document. For this, I have created the document processing custom model and I am grabbing the information of those probability and severity. So if you can see the extract information part and I'm passing the content of the file. Once I'm done with that, I am just parsing the JSON, grabbing the probability bits and I'm storing it in a variable, which is an array, so that I'll get an array where if you can go to the document again, for each row, it will give me the probability and severity. Hence, I need an array and it will just add one item to that array. After that, I'll be evaluating that array and seeing it, whether that contains that text. Okay, that is why I'm storing it in an array. One is for probability, other is for severity. If you are just working on the use case where you are maintaining confidentiality like high, medium, low, you can just store it in one array variable. Apart from that, I'm also storing the content of the attachment so that I can also attach it in my approval. Coming to the other branch, going here. Here what I'm doing is I'm using the already available AI builder model, which is recognized text from the file, which is PDF. What it does is it will take your file content and then now you have to read through page. In the page, you'll read to the paragraph, and in the paragraph, you will have to read to the line, right? This is how you convert your PDF to text. So this is what I'm doing, going through the page, through paragraph, through the lines, and then I'm storing that whole thing in a variable. Once I'm done with that, I've created the custom connector and passing that whole text in the body. And this is the summarized custom connector which I'm using here. Once this is done, I'm taking that information, grabbing the first response which I'm getting from that API and storing that in the variable. Also, I'm storing the information. This is just the status code check whether I've really got the response. If not, then it will just straight away break. Okay. After that, also I'm attaching the files again. What next I'm doing is I'm passing the another step. Let me just close this down. Yeah. Now we are going to go to the, okay, I think I lost somewhere. Yeah, here. Now, once we have that information all set in the variables, now we are going to check few things, whether my risk is really high risk. So I'm checking the probability and severity, as I mentioned. If it contains the word catastrophic or probability contains almost certain, then I need approval. This is the approval stage when I'm passing it to someone who will approve this, and also passing, I've removed it just before our call, but you can also pass the variable. It was just throwing some error because it was empty, so I didn't want to interrupt. Just pass that attachment and you are done. Next, once the approval is completed, you have to send out an email as well. And that is the email stuff which I'm doing with the response of approve or whatever is the response. And the email also contains the AI summary plus your attachments, etc. Next is the direct automated AI approval, where it is falling below the threshold, so you don't need the approval from so-and-so person, and it is automatically approved. Let's just go ahead and see this in action. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send out an email. Let me just send out one email. Okay, new email, and I'm going to type in risk analysis approval. Send out to the person and attaching the documents from my computer. This too. Hit send. Going to the flow. And let's just wait for it to run. In the meantime, this runs. I can just show you the predefined. I think we are already, okay, we have some time. Let's just wait for a second. Yes, let's just go to the run. Yep. So it was able to fetch the documents, and it is in the attachment section, and it is evaluating each attachment. And we'll wait for a few seconds. Let's see whether we received the response. In the meantime, I can just go back and show you the existing screenshot till the time it runs. So what it will do is it will send me the something like this in my Teams here in the approval stage. This is the approval. This is how it will look like. And this is the automated AI generated summarize thing. And you also see the disclaimer that this is AI generated summary. So your manager who is approving knows that, hey, this is AI generated. And the attachments, I have removed it as of now. So this is the run. I approved it already. Hence, once it was approved, I just received it an email in my mailbox. This is approved because it was high risk. And we also note down that it is high risk. And this is the summary with the two attachments. So this is the overall flow. But let's see whether this has worked till now. Sure, it is taking some time to process. Okay, it's done. Now it should come down for approval. Let's just go and evaluate. In the document processing model, you see that my model was able to, I'll go to this section, array variable. In the probability, I have to run through all the rows and it will just save the value here for probability. Similarly, you can see for severity as well. It's done. And if I go to the AI generated section, it should generate the response. So let's just go to the past JSON set variable. Oops, my bad. I did not go to the next run. Okay. Yes, I received the notification, but I'll still continue to show the output. So here you are seeing the content and the outputs. In the outputs, I have the short summary. I will just grab this, copy it in my notepad for you all to see how shortened it is. See, this is just one small paragraph elaborating on what the document had and storing that in the variable, and it has passed on to the approval stage. So let's go ahead and evaluate whether I have received it or not. I think I did. Need your approval is in already, and it should be sent to the risk assessment manager. It is. Let me just go to the teams and do that. Yep, it's latest one. I approve, and this is normal summary. Hit approve, and it should send out an email. Going back, and the email should arrive pretty soon. Yes, it does. So this is the approval for high risk investment, and just like I mentioned, it just showcased everything which we needed. So maybe I would recommend you all to just fit this scenario into the documents where you are working for confidentiality. Sorry, let me go back to the meeting. Yeah. Yes. So you can fit this bit into any of the scenario. It is not necessarily that related to risk assessment, but anywhere you see that, hey, this thing can be resolved, where your managers or whomsoever is approving, they can take this small area and you can let AI auto approve if it is below some threshold or below any valuation, like either it is low, medium, or high, or any kind of thing. Just pick this up and you can use it anywhere. If not this whole use case, maybe either use your document processing or any of the AI builder pieces which I did. You can use it. Feel free to use it. Also, these are the same screenshots which I've added. If it is auto approved, then you don't receive that approval at all. It will just send out an email directly. Because I don't have that much time, so I would just close out to give you the short summary that what we did is we used, I created the custom connector using the OpenAI GPT endpoint, and I leveraged two AI builder models. One is document processing, which was the custom one, and the other was reading your text from the PDF or files. I used that, and then using all those bits and pieces, I created the workflow which just auto approves, right? And this was the short summary. You can just pick this also in the repository. It is already available. You can just go to the github.com. I think later on, once this is published, you can go and find the information as well, the resources. And that is it. If you have any questions, please let me know. I feel I can answer them. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying till the end.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, Shrushti. Great demo. Love to see that. Let me get the slides back up here. And of course, we've lost our place. So let me fast forward us here to the end demos. There we go. Hopefully everybody sees the demo slide there. Thank you, Leon. Thank you, Shrushti, for the great demos. Really appreciate you putting those together and sharing them with us today, and all of you joining us to see them. You can join our official Discord server, aka.ms/community/discord, with over 1,800 members to share your knowledge, ask questions, and stay up to date. Encourage you to check that out. And then as well, give us feedback on these calls, rate the call content, aka.ms/community/call/feedback. You know, if you want to say awesome things about me as your presenter on the call, of course, you can always go do that. But do rate us, do let us know. We're very interested in how we can make these calls better for everybody in the community, and how, you know, are we showing you the right content? Do we have the right cadence? All that kind of stuff. So we really appreciate any feedback you want to share. Thank you to all of you for your time today. The recording will be available in about 24 hours on the YouTube channel there, aka.ms/community/videos. You can follow us in all those other places for updates. Our next call will be next Thursday, which will be the March 28th. I'm sorry, let me start over. Our next call will be March 21st, next Thursday, which will be the SharePoint Framework and Viva Connections biweekly call. Our next Power Platform biweekly call will be in 2 weeks on March 28th. Look forward to seeing all of you there then. Thank you all for letting me come back and host today. It was really great to talk to you all again. Have a great rest of your week, and we will talk soon. Bye-bye.